In this video, you're going to see how to put your saxophone together, how to swab it and take care of it, how to play your first note, and how to put it away. All right, so let's get started. First of all, this instrument's pretty big for my lap. I'm not a very big person, so I think I'm going to start with it on my chair. So when I'm starting, this is the safest way to put together your saxophone. Notice that the name of my saxophone, which is a Selmer, is facing the ceiling, up. So the name faces the ceiling, so I know I'm opening it the right way. I'm going to undo my levers, and I'm going to open up my case. Inside, you're going to see several things. The first thing that we're going to see is we're going to see the neck strap. That is the very first thing that goes on when you're putting your saxophone together. I'm going to get down here on the floor so you can see. My neck strap is on. This is probably the most important part so that you don't drop your instrument. It's kind of big, it's kind of heavy, and very fragile. You don't want to damage your instrument, so make sure your neck strap is on and secure first. So when we're getting ready to put our saxophone together, we're going to start with the body of the instrument, which is the big part. I'm going to take it by the bell. Now notice I'm not holding it anywhere else but by this bell. See that? Then there's this little hole. I'm going to snap my saxophone neck strap right into that hole like this. Then I know I'm always going to keep my hand on it just in case my saxophone neck strap doesn't work. But I'm always going to hold on to it just in case, but still it gives me a little bit more protection using my neck strap. This piece right here should have been in your case, inside your saxophone. We call that the cap. I'm going to pull that out because I'm not going to use that. This is only for when it's inside the case. So I'm going to put this inside my case and leave it right where it goes until we're done. Then I am going to grab the neck. It looks like a neck, doesn't it? The neck goes into this top hole right there. Going to twist and push. Twist and push, just little wiggles until it's in. Now notice this back part, there's this little key right here. It lines up with the center of my neck, like that. On this side, I have a little screw with my right hand. I should tighten that, not super tight, just till it's firm. So this neck doesn't move around inside the saxophone. The next piece I'm going to do is the mouthpiece. The mouthpiece has a ligature. This is what I call a ligature. It's what holds the reed onto the mouthpiece. I'm going to just put that down for just a minute. I'm going to take the mouthpiece and I'm going to twist and push it on. Now, if that's really hard, you might need to grab some cork grease out of your care kit or out of your saxophone. It might look like this. Like a little thing of chapstick. It's not chapstick, it's cork grease. And I'm just going to put a little bit on. And once you get some on, you can just kind of rub it around. Make sure it gets all the way on. I probably put this on once a month, maybe a little bit more, depending on if my instrument's new. If your instrument's brand new and that cork is really stiff, you'll probably put it on every day for a while. Then the mouthpiece goes on, and you put it on until it doesn't go any further. Now notice how far I put that down? All right, now I'm going to take my ligature and put that back on. Now it only goes one way successfully. Notice how that doesn't fit right. But this way it does. Then I'm going to take my reed, and my reed could be in a box, might be in this little case, but I'm going to take it out of the case. And I should have been sucking on this normally before I started putting my instrument together. Because I'll get faster at it, this will be the first thing I do. I'll pull it out, put it in my mouth. Now we need to moisten it a little bit for it to vibrate against the mouthpiece. So put the case back in, the little reed case back in the case. And I'm going to put my case down on the floor by the side of my chair. Now to attach the reed, I'm going to put my saxophone like this on my lap so I can see what I'm doing. I push my ligature up. I put the flat side. Notice there's a kind of a bendy side, a side that's got cuts and stuff and it's smooth. That's not the side we're working with right now, but the flat side is going to go on the hole of the mouthpiece, right in there. Okay, so I lift that ligature up. I slide the reed down until that reed is at the top of the mouthpiece, like that. I'm going to push my ligature down below the cut of the reed. You'll see that the reed has a little cut or a little smile on it. The ligature needs to be below that little cut, low enough. Some mouthpieces have little lines on and you can kind of tell that ligature should come right to the bottom, right below that line. Then I take my fingers, my right hand, and I twist the ligature screws until they're just firm. Not till they're super tight, just till they're firm. Now to hold the saxophone, I'm going to take my right hand, my right thumb in particular, and I'm going to hook it under that little hook. See that? That's where my right thumb sits so that my hand can help hold my saxophone. And my fingers, my right hand fingers will play on these three little pads right there. 1, 2, 3. They don't always have to be pushed, but when they do be pushed, that's where they will sit. My left hand will come to this little black pad on the back of the saxophone. Yours might not be black, but regardless, there should be a little pad back there. My thumb just sits there, and then my left hand comes over and plays on these keys. Now notice you might have a little key right here. Might be a little pad. You don't push that one, and you don't push this one. So you skip that first one, play on this, don't play that one, play on this and that. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. These are where my fingers will touch all the time or when we're playing different notes. Okay? All right. So there we have it. Now, let's put the saxophone down for a minute and just take off the neck. So undo your neck strap. Loosen this. Loosen that little screw and twist the neck off. Keep your mouthpiece and reed on and safely put your saxophone on the floor or back in your case. Okay, now we're going to create some sounds on just the mouthpiece and the neck. It's going to sound a little funny, but we're going to try it anyway. Now we're going to make a formation with our mouth. We call this the embouchure, and it's what we do in order to play our saxophone correctly. So listen carefully. First off, you're going to roll your bottom lip over your bottom teeth like this. It creates a nice little pad for the reed to sit on top of. Try placing that there. The next step is we're going to put our top teeth on top of the mouthpiece. You can kind of see where mine sit. Right in there. I'm not biting down, I'm just placing them there so it gives me a little bit of stability with my mouth. The next step will be to take in a deep breath, close everything up, and blow through. Sounds a little funny, doesn't it? Try that a few times. If you get a little squeak, you might have too much mouthpiece in the mouth. Now you don't see my cheeks puffing out. You don't see my lips going like this. No funny faces. Got to keep it all straight and back. Lip over the bottom teeth. Teeth on top of the mouthpiece. Now, once you start doing that, I want you to start to use your tongue. Now, your tongue's going to actually hit the tip of the reed right down in here every time you start. So it's going to go like you're saying 2, 2, 2 on your reed. Just hit the reed. Can you hear my tongue hitting the reed? Try it with me. Cheeks are back. All right, see how long you can hold it. I counted to 10. How long did you hold it? Doesn't that sound funny? Well, that's the beginning of a good sound on the saxophone. So once you get really good at that, if you need to practice it some more, stop the video and just practice doing that as many times as you need until it feels comfortable and good. Make sure you use your tongue and make sure your teeth are on top of the mouthpiece. But once we're good with that, we're going to put our saxophone back on and try to make our first note. All right, there are two ways to play the saxophone. If you're as tall as me, you can play it forward if you like, if that feels more comfortable. But if you're kind of short, you might want to come side saddle. If you do come side saddle, you have to come forward in your chair so your saxophone doesn't hit your chair, and move your mouthpiece just a little bit so your head doesn't go like this. We don't want to play this way. We want to play straight on. So when we're holding, remember, our right hand comes underneath that nose piece. I don't know, the little hook thing. And our hands are going to be hovering over those pads. The first note that we're going to play today is what we call an E. And if you look back here on the board, you're going to see, oh, I lied, it's a B. B. It's on the third space, or the third line of the staff. I'll show you, we'll get a little closer so you can see it. So there's the B, third line of the staff. Also looks like it's right in the middle. Its name is B, and it's played like this. First finger all by itself. Nothing else is down. Now be careful. If your hand's small, it might have a tendency to touch one of these keys over here on the side. And nothing should be touching except for that B. I'm going to play straight on. You might be side saddle. Roll the bottom lip over. That's our B. Did you notice I used my tongue? Try it again with me. If you're getting weird sounds like this, it's probably because you're touching a key. So if you're getting that instead of, make sure you check and really round out this hand. It's like you're holding a very large cup. Keep it nice and round. Only push down that first finger right here. B. How did you do? Hopefully you did well. Keep practicing this video until that feels comfortable. Now, we're going to, once we're done with our practice session, we are going to take our instrument apart and swab it. We're going to swab it first, take it apart, and put it away. So let's review. First of all, put your case back on your chair. We're going to go backwards of where we started. So I'm going to take my reed off first, loosen the ligature, pop the reed up. I might dry the reed off if it's really wet on my swab, and then put it back in its little case safely. The reed is the most important part. If your reed is broken, it will not work, and it'll make you squeak and squawk. Make sure there aren't any knots in your swab. I really like these silk swabs, so if you don't have a silk swab, you should probably try and get one because they are the best. You can buy them at the music store, or you can make your own by just getting a piece of fabric and using the swab string that you already have on the swab that you might have. I have another swab that looks like this that I really don't like. But you can take the string off and put it on to a piece of silk like this. And then it's super easy to clean your saxophone out. All right, I'm going to take the mouthpiece off. Notice my saxophone is still hanging by my neck. And I'm going to put that little end upside down through my mouthpiece and swab it out. Get all the moisture out of the mouthpiece so it stays nice and clean inside. See that? Nice and clean. Then I put the cap back over the top of my ligature and my mouthpiece like this. And I can put it back in my case where it belongs. Then I take the neck off, loosen it, twist and pull, upside down, through the hole, and swab out that neck. You can only swab a neck unless you have a silk mouthpiece. That's the only way you can do it. Unless you have a silk neck swab. If you try to use one of these other swabs, that will never fit through your neck on your saxophone. Then this one, also upside down. I'm going to put it all the way down in there as much as I can. Tip it upside down till it pops out. Oops. Sorry, it didn't catch. Let's try that again. I might have to take it off my neck strap in order to do this. There it goes. Came out the hole, pull it through, and your saxophone is clean. Take the neck strap off. Remember this cap piece. Where did it go? Put it in there somewhere. There it is. There's the cap. Put it back in, top, and put the saxophone back in the case safely. Don't forget your neck strap. Put it in the case. And close and latch it up. Oops, I forgot my swab. I'm going to put it in there as well. Always check your area to make sure you have everything put away because you don't want to lose any pieces because otherwise you won't have all the tools you need to take care of your instrument. And it's done. All right, now it's your turn to practice this video as much as you can until you feel comfortable putting the saxophone together, taking it apart, playing a few notes on, or playing your note B on it, and making sure that your reed is safe and you're tonguing and putting your embouchure in the right spots. Have fun. Keep practicing until it feels good.